if homelessness is being made illegal, what are people supposed to do to live in this country anymore? So now that, I know this, I'm kind of late to the party on this, but now that Trump has made homelessness essentially illegal, his plans of temporarily, at least from the last time I heard, throwing people in jail and locking away the key. I mean, how is that going to solve anything except put more burden on the taxpayers itself? I mean, we're already paying so many taxes in this country. I mean, we're taxed on everything. From the food, we're taxed on the tax, we're taxed on gas, we're taxed on homes, we're taxed on property taxes, we're taxed on utilities, we're taxed on everything. Car maintenance. I mean, if this is Trump's plan, look, and you already know where I stand. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican. But if this is his plan, if this is the plan to get people off the street, is just to temporarily just throw them in jail, or apparently he's giving them some kind of housing. But is the housing even going to be good? Is the housing even going to be decent? Probably not. Is it probably going to be more like a homeless shelter like the ones I was living in? Yes. And you do not want to live in those homeless shelters. I'm telling you, you don't want to be living with a bunch of drug addicts and fucking weirdos and people with criminal records. You don't. Trust me. There have been many days where I lived in my car instead of that homeless shelter. When I used to go to that homeless shelter, because I would have people trying to steal my things. I would have people trying to make me give them rides to places. If I didn't want to give them rides, they would stand in front of my car. Like, you do not want to get into one of these homeless shelters, okay? They're bad news. They come with a lot of bad people that have done a lot of bad things. Drug addicts, people that have steal money, losers, lowlifes, like people that, most importantly, are desperate enough to do some crazy shit to you because they have nothing to lose and they realize they have nothing to lose. Okay? So these homeless shelters are bad. But, when you put people in a situation where, you're not going to give them any kind of decent place to stay, but you're basically going to tell them, either you're gonna be temporarily housed in a jail, or you're going to be moved somewhere else and you're just going to be plowed like a bulldozer. I mean, like, what does that say about how our treatment of people in the U.S.? Like, what does that say about? Does that show that we care even an iota about people in this country? No, it doesn't. And when you make the cost of living so high, when the cost of living, okay, when it costs more just to work, when it costs more just to go to think about it, it costs more now just to go to your job than it does you're actually making money from the job. I mean, with gas, I don't know where gas is by you guys, $3.65 here, all right? Around at least over $3, $3.30 to $3.65. You got food. People are spending now anywhere from $300 to $500 a month at least on food alone, okay? I am, and I'm buying bare basic stuff. Yes, I'm buying healthy stuff, but, I'm not buying all organic. I'm buying, meats, vegetables, some carbohydrates, like, milk, some fruit, barely any fruit, because I can barely even afford fruit anymore because apples are so expensive, things are so expensive. Car maintenance, been holding on car maintenance repairs for a while. I damn well I can't afford to spend hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to fix my car, and I need new wheels, I need to fix the front bumper. Now my car's making another sound. You got phone and internet because you have to have phone and internet because you need to apply for jobs. You need to have a phone. You need to have a cellular service in case those jobs call you back and want to offer you a job, which, you don't really have to worry about that, I guess, anymore because there are no jobs. But, Then you got everything else, right? You got rent, you got utilities, you got electric, you got gas, you got water. It's like these things all add up right now in this day and age, and it creates this hurricane of just hurricane of I don't even know how to describe it. Just bills, just endless bills that just keep getting more and more and more expensive, not because of just hyperinflation, but because of corporations taking advantage of hyperinflation, because they won't stop jacking up the price, because they don't care about people, because there are people who really don't. There are still people who buy these products because there's what other choice is there? When every corporation, you can only shop around so much. When every corporation jacks up the price, and you're at the mercy of these corporations, there's no small mom and pop shops anymore. You're really at the mercy of what? What are you at the mercy of? Walmart, Jewel, the big giants, Mariano's. Like you're at the mercy of these giant corporations that have all jacked up the price on us. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do? You can't be homeless anymore, okay? But then again, you've raised the cost of living so much in this economy. The people in power that have made these decisions that have gotten us to this point where we're at in society in America, you've raised the prices so goddamn much that it pretty much costs more just to go to the job and work. That you're paying to work. You're not paying to live anymore. When the job costs more, when it costs more to actually go to the job and work than it does to live, I mean, you have a serious problem on your hand. You're paying to work at this point. You're paying just to go to your job. That's pretty much it. The amount of money that you make from your job is just enough to get to you to your job and back. It doesn't afford anything anymore. When you can't even afford your own place anymore, you can't even do van life anymore. You can't live in a camp. You can't do any of these things anymore. They want you sucking. They want to suck every dollar off of you. They want to tax you by every single dollar. They want you to pay these exorbitant rent prices. They want you to pay the exorbitant food prices. They want you all connected to the system. This is why they're not letting you become homeless. This is not why they're moving people who are homeless. This is why they're throwing people in jail who are homeless now, because they do not want you to find ways out of the system. They don't want you to find cheaper ways of life. And there's just this, and again, greed destroys the world. Greed has destroyed the world. This is the end result of late stage capitalism, that, as most people know, where profit is put above people at all costs, no matter what, and there's just no empathy. And profit is put up against people, over people. There's no empathy. There's zero empathy to be found whatsoever. And it's a well, if you don't like it, then leave situation. And it's sad, because if you can't even live out of your car anymore to save money, you can't even live out of a RV or a van to save money anymore. Like, you can't even live, just in peace. Live off the bare minimum. Choose not to participate in the society. Live in a tent. Like, you can't even go live in a tent anymore. Like, when you can't even opt out of the system, you have no other choice but to participate in the system. What do you call that exactly? What's that word? What's that word when you have no choice other than to participate in the working slave class? Oh, slavery. Oh, slavery is the word. So that's what it is, basically. You're a slave. You're not allowed to opt out of the system anymore. You're not allowed to set up a tent and live somewhere out in the woods. You're not allowed to live on the side of the road in an RV. You're not allowed to do van life anymore. You're not, can't do anything. You are a non-willing participant, or maybe a willing participant, but either way, you will be a non-willing participant at the moment you decide that you say fuck this. The moment you decide fuck this and decide to opt out of the system, because the moment you decide to do that, and you decide to do van life or RV life or whatever, the government and the tyrant police that we have in this country now are going to be right there to stop you and throw you in jail and tell you you're not allowed to opt out of the system. You're not allowed to be homeless. You're not allowed to be homeless. Think about how crazy it is. You're not allowed to do van life. You're not allowed to be homeless. You're not allowed to find another way out of the system, slave. Now either go to jail or get back to work. So that's the society we live in. And I don't know if you can probably hear my fucking car making noise. I gotta fix that. But it costs hundreds of dollars to even to get my car repaired. All right, because you gotta throw endless money into these fucking Chevy Cruises because they're so fucking shitty. Anyway, I just made it to work. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Put a comment down below. I'll talk to you in the next one after this 11-hour shift. Take care.